Hello viewers, my online friends, those who are participating hotel and hospitality management. Myself Bonful Banerjee is your host for the session and welcome you all to my educational channel, that is Hospitality Education PPT. Today in this particular session we are going to discuss the factors considered while planning a menu. Friends, if you remember, in our previous session we have discussed thoroughly about the word menu and its different types, and we have discussed in detail about each type of the menu. This session will continue for 30 to 40 minutes, and as already we are having a basic concept about the word menu, now we will today take it further to the next level. As you all know that a well-designed menu serves multiple purposes. It is not just a list of dishes, but it is also a strategic tool that can influence the entire dining experiences from different aspects. What are those aspects? Number one, it is treated as one of the major marketing tools. A menu can entice guests with compelling descriptions and appealing visuals. It reflects the restaurant's brand and sets expectations. It is also a kind of operational guide. How? It helps in inventory control by highlighting dishes that utilize readily available or surplus ingredients. Also, it acts as a kind of financial management. It helps in financial management. How? By analyzing sales data, a menu can be optimized for profitability, pushing high margin items or those with low food cost percentages. And another one aspect is customers' satisfaction. Menu is a clear and well organized tool which is used to improve the ordering process, enhancing the overall customer's experience. In essence, the menu is a critical component that bridges the gap between the culinary team and guest, ensuring operational efficiency and customers' satisfaction. It is a dynamic element that requires careful planning and regular updates to meet the changing demands of both the business and its clientele. So, in this journey of this particular session, we'll discuss and try to create a very transparent understanding about the importance of menu by discussing different factors, both from business point of view and from the customer's angle. So, my dear friends, without wasting further time, let's proceed to our journey. The menu. The planning part, it has got two aspects. One is, it is used as a foundation of control process in food and beverage operations. As you all know that every business should have a very well established control process so that it can always guide you that your business is in the right track, whether in terms of profitability or the point of customer satisfactions or your operational movements and flow, how it will be maintained. Everything depends from that angle. And another one about the menu is it determines the success and failure of F&B operations. Now let us see the flowchart of basic operating activities, how it operates in food service organization. Starting with a menu planning. Then depending on the menu planning, you need to go for your purchasing of raw materials and other allied materials and ingredients. After purchasing, it is a time to receive them. While receiving also, you have to follow certain standards, so you can ensure that you are receiving the best quality from the market, from your vendors. Then after receiving, the next responsibility and the next operation is storing them. Different kind of materials used for the food production. So definitely that has to be stored as per the gravity of those ingredients. Once it is stored, then the next point is issuing. From the store, it will be issued as per your requirements, not beyond that, not in unlimited quantity, as per your requirements, so that it will be easy for you to manipulate with the ingredients. You are not welcoming unnecessary loss or damages of the ingredients. So issuing is another one important factor in the operational process. Then actually it comes to the kitchen, that is a preparation or preparing area. Then cooking. Then holding it how long? For service. And then finally, once it is reaching to the guest table and guest is consuming it, what is the final factor? That is the amount of guest satisfaction. Out of all these operational stages, if you see these three, especially starting with cooking, holding and serving, it is a purely and specially part of production activities. And this process, as I have mentioned, it starts with the menu planning and goes to the end, that is guest satisfaction. That is our entire flow chart. I hope it is very clear in your mind now about the operational part of our food production or food service area. Next is how this menu influence. It has got multiple factors. Whenever you visit a restaurant, what happens? The person comes, they greet you, they give you the proper seat as per your requirement, and then they present you the menu. So what is that first stage? That is, it is a mode of communication. It creates an image in your mind depending on which you can communicate. So that is a point of first contact with the guest, communication. Second is influencing the guest purchasing decision. Once you go through the menu and read it carefully, then you match it with your choice and of course with your budget, and then you take decision that what are the dishes you are going to order. So it is influencing the guest purchasing decision. Third one is it creates and reflects the image of the organization. Naturally, if you are going to a very posh restaurant, and if at the same time if some of your friends are visiting a normal eatery or a restaurant in your local areas, you cannot expect the same kind of menus over there. So it is also a brand image of that organization. So that is the influence of the menu. Then another factor is merchandising the correct product. Merchandising is what? It is a tool to promote the product as per the popularity, as per the need of the customers, and of course with their budgets. So naturally, it is a tool to merchandise the correct product through your menu. It stimulates the sales. You may have different planning that these are the product I'm going to select once we'll go for a dinner today, and after reaching over there, after going through the menu, you may alter your choice as well. You can have little one or two more extra dishes as per the sales proposition. So it will help you to think, and automatically it will stimulate your sales strategy. And it increases the guest check average. How? Maybe you are having a kind of budget, so you sometimes by seeing the menu, which will create some image in your mind, and definitely you can increase your capacity of purchasing the product. So naturally the check average will be increased. So these are the facilities we get. These are the influence the menu has got on customer's point of view, why we create a menu. So these are the points to be remembered. Next is the impact of menu on food service operations. Now you'll see how it has got the impact from different angle. Number one, the product control procedures. What is this? The food and beverage products must be controlled. I have mentioned that any business should have a control. So here also food and beverage products must be controlled. How? If, for example, if an operation needs shrimp, as example I am telling this, to produce a particular menu item, shrimp will need to be purchased, received, stored, issued, prepared, cooked, and to be served. So all these stages are involved. So it has got direct impact on food control procedures or product control procedures. Second one, cost control procedures. What is that? Careful cost control procedures must be followed as more expensive products are served, as service styles dictated by the menu become more complex, and as guests desire a dining experience, not just a meal. Remember, this is very important point. Guest has come to your premises just for the experience, dining experiences, that is the excellency, not as because they are hungry, that's why they have come. Point number 3, production requirements. What is that? Food items required by the menu must be produced consistently. That means today you are getting a product, and see after 15 days again you are visiting, and last time as you have liked this product and you have ordered today also with your friends to give them a pleasure, and you received that product which you had earlier, and today what you are tasting, both are two different things from the taste point of view or presentation point of view, or somehow they are not similar. So what do we require? Food items required by the menu must be produced consistently. Product quality, staff productivity and skills, timing and scheduling, and other kitchen functions all are dictated by the menu. So it is so important. Number 4, nutritional content of meals. Non-commercial food service programs and increasingly commercial food service operations are concerned about the nutritional content of food served to clients or guests. Globally, it is very, very important. The people are very much health conscious. The menu can have an impact on the health and well-being of those to whom it is offered. So nutritional content, it has also impact on that. Next is layout, space management and equipment needed. There must be adequate facilities for the staff and equipment required to produce items listed on the menu. The layout and design of facilities establish the physical space within which food production and service takes place. The physical facilities must be adequate for the purchasing, receiving, storing, issuing, production and serving of every item on the menu. So naturally your kitchen layout, the space management, equipment required for that to prepare such dishes in the menu is also a point of contact. So once you decide a menu, definitely this factor is also to be considered or taken in consideration while planning. And the next is staffing needed and service required. This is also another very important area. Staffing needed. Employees must be available to produce and serve all items required by the menu. They should be enough knowledgeable and skilled. Similarly, for the service also, the food and beverage manager must carefully plan how products will be served to the guest. The menu affects the skill levels required for service as well as the production as well. I cannot have a particular dish in my menu and not having any clear knowledge about whether my staff in the kitchen are skilled enough and knowledgeable enough to produce the same. And same with the service personnel as well. So these are the areas, point 6, we have 6 points we have discussed out here, which has got the impact on menu service operations. Let's proceed to the next. Menu planning. It addresses both control and marketing related concerns and blend them into a workable system. In the beginning I have mentioned about 2 factors. Here also it is a kind of marketing tool and it is also a control process. Both are well blended and we get a workable system. And there are certain points in it hidden. What are those? Marketing implications of the menu, the theme and atmosphere of the restaurant, the strategies involved, building the menu, what are the dining trends, how the menu will be designed, and how and when the menu will be changes. So all these factors are very much required while planning a menu. And we'll discuss this in the following slides. First one, marketing implications of the menu. Here, items selected must be based on need and desires of the target markets. Who are all your target markets, your clientele? It can be the high standard guest with more financial abilities, whether it is a college student or people, those who are residing nearby. So all these factors, the segments of the client, that is your point of discussions while the marketing your menu. Quality of the product is another one essential marketing impact, implications. Direct and indirect competition in the area. Obviously, you are not the only one food service operator in that locality. Maybe some other competitors are there. So you have to have a very clear eye on them, maintain the standards. So direct and indirect competition in the area is always there. That will be also a marketing implications of the menu. What will be the selling price? You cannot have suddenly very low selling price or very high in compared to your competitors. So naturally both the cases, both the extreme cases, the people will have a different kind of notion or narrative in their mind. So you should be very careful about the calculation and setting up the prices accordingly. And then the question will be there in your mind, why guest will select this product? So what is the unique sales proposition for that particular dish? That should be also taken into consideration in your mind. What is the specialty of the organization? Of course, your branding, your image of the organization, that is also, maybe you are having a particular specialty restaurant or a specialty food service area. So naturally you have to keep that point also in your mind as your marketing tool. Second is theme and atmosphere. Ambience of the F&B operations, that is very important. Specialty cuisine served, whether you are serving Italian cuisine or French cuisine or Indian cuisine or dum cooked cuisine or any regional cuisine specialty or South Indian cuisine, whatever is your that specialty cuisine to be served, that will be also taken into considerations. With that proper theme will be created. Ethnic cuisine, whether you are serving ethnic cuisine or not, that is also a point of consideration. That will be your theme and atmosphere will be created accordingly. If it is a spa cuisine, mind that I am giving it for example out here. If it is a spa cuisine, so theme and atmosphere will also match with that cuisine. Next is menu planning strategies. Limits the menu to those items that best enhance the operations image. Don't put all many ingredients which has got nothing to do with the image of your organization. So try to limit the menu to those items that best enhance the operations image. Several menu items can be made by using some raw ingredients. You have to plan accordingly. You don't have so much of dishes over there, and for each of them you need to have a different group of ingredients. That will create lots of wastage and you have to suffer a loss. So your menu planning will be based on several menu items will be there by using a similar kind of raw ingredients. That will minimize your wastage. To utilize high quality convenience products to create variety in the menu. Lot many convenience food are available throughout the globe. You have to utilize them in your kitchen so that you can create lot many varieties out of it. That is also one of your strategies of menu planning. Building the menu will keep in mind about the variety, about the menu items, their preparation techniques, their visual appeal, how the dish will be looking at, proper garnishes of each and every dishes which will be served to the guest, balancing both in terms of presentation and nutritionally balanced, in terms of color matching, everything. Balance means from all aspects, 360-degree balancing. Truthfulness, how honestly you have prepared that your presentation, quality of the ingredients, everything will reflect your truthfulness, flexibility, and of course your target customer. Next is dining trends. Grazing. What is grazing? There are different kind of customers in your restaurant. They may visit as client. Some of them, they are having the habit of going through the entire menu and select from here, there and that side. So this is known as grazing, not confining themselves particular to one category. So they are called the grazing customers. So grazing is another one dining trends. There can be a static menu. Already we have discussed this in our previous session. Those who have missed, they can again go back to the channel and find out the menu. Accordingly, you can understand about the static menu. I am not elaborating on that. Similarly, a dynamic menu also we have discussed. Seasonal flexibility should be taken into consideration in your mind. You cannot afford to have a non-seasonal items. First of all, the quality will be a kind of threat. Second thing, the taste may be another one factor, may not have the right taste like it is available in the season, proper season, and also the cost factor is also involved. So take consideration of these points about the seasonal flexibility. Tele chef special to upscale the sale. Definitely we can produce a chef special for the day. It will be another point of attraction for the guest to go for it. So that is the dining trends. And also desire of the target markets. You should have a very clear-cut concept about your target markets, about their wishes, their desires, and the popularity, what kind of products they prefer. Depending on those factors, you plan a menu. Then menu design. Remember, in this session, we are not detailing about the menu designing. That we'll do in our some other sessions in coming days. For the timing, just to have the concept of menu design, let us consider this. Influence the guest purchase decision. Designing of the menu card, which are the booklet you present to the guest, that design also having immense importance to create a menu merchandising. That means to promote the sales. It stimulates the sales, as I have mentioned just now. Increase the guest check average. So maybe you had a kind of budget already in your mind. Now after entering, after checking this ambience, the menu, dishes, their explanations, how they are cordially communicated to you, depending on that, you may think that, okay, along with this, we can also go for that. So once you think of go for that as well, then obviously your average check is increased. Menu changes. There are different kind of factors. One is the external factors. What is that? Economic conditions of your target markets. The competition. That means your other same organization, other organization of similar standard. What are the factors there that should be taken into considerations? Supply levels, whether you are having proper vendors to supply the ingredients properly or not. We cannot plan something which is not available in your local markets. So obviously it will create a problem. Either you should have a centralized purchase system. Maybe you are having your chain of restaurant in different parts of the country, and you may pick up your major ingredients from a particular place. So naturally, supply level you should keep in your mind whether it is regularly available or not. What are the industry trends? Depending on that, your menu will change. And some internal factors. What are those? Meal pattern, concept and the theme, menu mix. So all these factors are internal factors and external factors which will be taken into consideration while you are planning to change your menu. Because one single menu cannot run for eternity. You have to have a change. Now we'll talk about some basic factors to be considered while planning a menu. The type of menu is an important factor that determines menu planning. Menu planning can be both meaningful only when it is confirmed beforehand whether the menu being planned is tabldut or a la carte. So you have to first decide whether you are planning to give a tabldut menu or a la carte menu. That is the first factor you have to keep in your mind. Then The kind of meal and the nature of a function also play a crucial role in defining and determining a menu. Obviously, the menu for a corporate meeting, a menu for a marriage party, or menu for a particular event, or menu for your theme restaurant will not be the same. So this factor will also play while planning. Menu planning must consider the type of customers that would affect the type of food served. Menu planners have to ascertain whether customers concerned are young, old, infirm, athletic, and so on. So these are your categories of customer. Accordingly, the menu will be planned. Next point is the capability of the kitchen staff and the type of kitchen also play an important part in the menu compilation, as this would depend on the equipment available. Methods of cooking should vary and suit the best possible use of equipment and staff available. A simple example, very basic example I am citing. Suppose you don't have electric griller or you don't have any tandoor. Automatically, you cannot have dishes which are from these two categories. At the same time, you should also ensure that you are having a skilled staff working in tandoor or a staff who knows how to grill the different kind of steaks and the meat items. So depending on that factor also, the menu will be planned. Style of presentation and garnish of dishes depend on waiter's ability to prevent and serve the same. That is also a very important point. This in turn affects the standard of the establishment. The presentation, garnish and service, the ability of the waiter as well as the ability of your kitchen staff, that matters. The type of equipment and decor are also considered. That is very obvious. You don't have the equipment and naturally you cannot produce a specialty item which is to be utilized in that equipment. So naturally you cannot have that. Even your decor, the theme of the restaurant, the atmosphere will also match with your menu. Colored or patterned china material or china plate may affect the appearance of the certain foods. So you should be also considering this point while planning a menu. Sizes of serving dishes are important when garnishes are elaborate, as they control the portion and consequently the cost. You cannot have a so elaborate dish on a small plate. The size of the plate is also a matter of concern for this. The amount of china and silver must suffice for the menu offered. So these are the points. These are all very much hidden. So while planning a menu, you should be very, very careful about these points. Food should be chosen to conform to stipulated prices. Expensive items do not feature on low priced menu and vice versa. Food costs are generally maintained below 40% of the selling price. Your food cost should be below 40%. The point of concern is the food cost. If you are spending more than 40%, ultimately it will affect in your net profit. So it is always desirable you first set right your potential food cost and try to play within that. So your standard will be also maintained accordingly. Season is very important. When menus are compiled in advance, as climatic conditions can affect the suitability of certain dishes, that should be taken into consideration. Moreover, seasonal availability affects prices and quality as well, which already we have discussed. About the supplies, maximum use should be made of foods in season, but frozen or processed foods are also used extensively, that is to bring down the cost. Food is stored should be used before ordering fresh supplies as far as possible. So first in, first out. You should also consider a good chef always should have a clear-cut knowledge about the storage, what is there, what is not there, how much quantity is lying in the store. Try to utilize them as fast as possible. Commodities with a rapid turnover should be easily obtained and some items may be easily recycled. Dishes that are not available should not be recommended. Besides, special requests should be catered to as far as possible. Otherwise not. Suddenly in your area the truffle is not available and you are putting some items in your menu with the truffle. So naturally that is not possible. It can be only possible when there are certain guests. Suppose a head of state is visiting your hotel, staying, and there will be a banquet. So naturally while planning a menu, the menu should be exotic one, and then there is no problem of bringing the special items from far as well. Balance. A proper balance should be struck between various features of a menu. Basic ingredients should not be repeated. The following points must be considered to effect a fine balance in any menu that we are going to discuss in the following slides. What are those points? Avoid repeating words when writing the menu. Please look into this point. Colors should not be repeated. Menu should start with light dishes, progress to more substantial items, and finish with a light course. So as a result, if you know the courses of menu in French cuisine, starting with hors d'oeuvre or appetizer, it is starting with the small tidbits. Slowly, gradually, the quantity is increasing. Once it is reaching to the main dish, the relève or the roti, there the portion is much more large, and from there it is again slowly, gradually declining and ending to a light course, ending with tea or coffee. That should be the standard. Texture should be different. Sauce should vary. You should not have repetitive sauce in almost all the dishes in a buffet or while planning a menu for your clients. Garnishes using traditional names must be correct. You should be very careful before writing it. Ingredients must be maintained or balanced, especially on table d'hôte menus. Nutritional requirements of persons engaged in light or heavy work must be considered. Color is the most important factor considered in presentation of food. You should be very careful about that. Artificial colors, if used, must be in moderations. Better to avoid artificial colors. Colorful garnishes improve the appearance of a drab looking food even. So please consider these points while planning a menu. Language must be easily understood. French menus must be accompanied with English translations. Only one language should be used. An exception can be made here as regards national dishes, which cannot be translated and usually appear in the language of their origin. Remember this point, very important. French wordings must have the correct spelling and accents. The use of capital letters should be systematic. These are used generally for the first word in the term and for proper nouns. So capital letters should be used systematically. Words used to describe dishes should agree in number and gender. These named after persons or places follow the food. So remember these points very carefully. So So with this, we are at the end of the session. We have discussed till now in very detail about the factors of planning a menu. As I have discussed that it has got a business point of view as well as customer's point of view, why menu is required, what are the importance, how it helps in control process, everything we have discussed in details. So naturally, if you have liked this session, please subscribe, press the bell button so that you get the intimations of the next lesson very soon once it will be uploaded in this YouTube channel. Do share this with your friends and associates, and your valued feedback is asset for me, factor for motivation for me. Please ensure that any doubt, any comments, please put it in the comment box and I'll be there to give you the reply immediately from my side. So once again, thank you very much for attending this session, and I'm committed to meet you again in the coming session with another one very exciting lesson for you all. Till then, thank you very much. Goodbye.